First Lawrence Bank invites you to experience banking at its best. Whether you have personal or business needs, we're a full-service bank big enough to handle all of your banking needs and small enough to provide you with that personal touch you've grown to expect from a community bank like First Lawrence Bank. Looking forward to your future. That's First Lawrence Bank in Dublin and Dexter. Member FDIC.
This is Renee with CSB for you and me, and I'm here with Chadwin today talking about open access. Hey Chadwin.
Hey, how are you?
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I want to make sure that our viewers are aware of, if they need services, how to get started. So what's the first step they should do?
Okay, so our access is open access. It's we're open Monday through Friday, 8 until 2:30. You just bring your photo ID, Social Security if you have it, proof of income if you have it. If you don't have those things, it's okay. We'll still work with you. It's walk-in, so it's first come, first serve.
That's what open access means.
Yes.
You just walk in, first come, first serve.
You'll sit with an intake worker. They'll get a little bit of information, and we'll get you started in what you want and what you need.
And will you see a doctor when you first come?
Typically, no. We schedule the doctor's appointments because you have to have the intake first. And once you have the intake, we'll get you set up with your initial doctor. However, if there's a lot going on, it's kind of borderline emergency situation, we will try to get you in the same day to see the doctor.
And what if I'm in a crisis situation?
So if you're in a crisis situation, our assessment is a little different. We do a crisis assessment, and the termination of that assessment will either let you go forward with an LPC or get you with a doctor so we can figure out what's needed.
So if it's an emergency, you just come on in.
Come on in.
And if it's the situation needs a doctor or a counselor, we'll get you to them. If it's just a maintenance thing that you know you need to come see a doctor, you need to talk to somebody, maybe you need to stay steady on your meds,
Right.
we can start your process, get some goals together,
Right.
and start it. But if there's a crisis or an emergency, you can still
Come in
in.
at any time. And we say 2:30 as a cutoff because we never know how many people are going to come in. And the process takes about an hour to an hour and a half. So we have to say that cutoff, but truly if you come in at 3, 4 o'clock, we're going to see you.
Right.
So
I think that's important to know
that's
that
important to know. Yeah,
if it's during the week, we are not an emergency receiving facility.
correct.
We are not somewhere that you come, but during our work days, during our office hours, we will try to help you the best we can.
That's
I
correct.
have seen her up here late at night sitting with people trying to help get things started.
That is correct.
So
Yeah.
tell me what your job title is.
I'm access coordinator, so I'm over the intake department, and then I also supervise therapy.
Okay. And so walk me through a day of Chadwin. What's the first thing you do when you come to work?
First thing I do is get some coffee.
I need to have that coffee.
Yeah. But then make sure all my employees are good in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
That's really what I do first. Because we can't do our job if we're not taking care of ourselves. So
Right.
make sure they're doing good. Make sure that we don't have anybody up front. You fill out the intake packet. And I help kind of oversee, make sure it goes smoothly. And if crises arise, I do help with trying to find placement for crisis. So really it's just making sure that everything is running smoothly. So.
And I think it's important. I want to say neat. It's always neat to me. But I think it's important for our viewers to know that you are over that department.
Mm-hmm.
So your main priority is making sure that when anyone needs behavioral health services, that they can come in and everything runs smoothly.
That's
But
correct.
I've also seen you be the one working with the individuals.
Yes, because it's important. If a lot of people come in, you don't want people sitting out there for hours on end. So every now and then, I will pitch in if I feel like we're getting a little backed up, I'll sit down with somebody and.
So she could be the face that you see when you
Yeah.
come up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because ultimately it's about the people that we see. So
Yeah.
making sure that they have a good experience and it's, good for them. So
How long have you worked here?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah, 4 years.
Is this what you wanted to do when you were little?
No, I wanted to be a pro golfer.
Oh, that's interesting.
I did, and I actually wanted to be a lawyer. I have my associates in pre-law, but I swapped mid because I got into a psychology class, and it's just, I don't know, it's something I've grown to really, really love and enjoy helping people. So
We've talked about in other episodes how we are a team, and to work in this field, it's a passion or it's a mission. It's something that we have in our own personalities to where we want to help people. So I think it's important for our viewers to also know and see that this is not just a job for us people.
Right,
We could be lawyers or making the big money, but it is part of us as individual people that work here, and as a team that we wake up to help people.
Right.
We wake up to serve. And that is what we want when it comes to CSB of Middle Georgia.
that's correct.
When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express, where you'll always find friendly, courteous service every time you visit us. Fill up with Pay at the Pump. Take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Enjoy our popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. And you can always enjoy a fresh hot breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So stop by and see us today, where it's always convenient and friendly. Neighbors Express, locations at I-16 at 441 and in Cedar Grove, where we provide farm fuel for all our customers. When you want convenience, you want Neighbors Express.
All right, we're back, and I want to just go ahead and tell y'all, there is a gnat in this room, so if I start swatting, it has messed me up, this gnat. Chadwin, can you tell us a little bit about how the services are personalized for each individual that comes through? I think it's important for our viewers to see that we're not a cookie cutter program, because there might be things that they want to participate in but they might not.
Right.
And how do we justify or work with their needs to serve them?
So we are a person-centered organization. So what that means is when you come in, we may make recommendations based off what you have disclosed to us, but ultimately it is up to the individual to choose which service that they want to be in and participate in. So we are a dual clinic. We don't just treat behavioral health, mental health. We also treat substance abuse, or both, co-occurring is what we call it. And when you get in with the intake worker, we explain all of the services that we offer. We have a multitude of services. It goes down to simple case management, med management, to day programs, or step 1 for substance abuse, or ICM for intensive individuals that may have multiple hospitalizations or may be coming out of jail and are needing help to reintegrate back into society.
And I think that's a good point, and that's another visual and another audio for us to know. That's why we're doing this show. That's why we're doing CSB for you and me, because each episode is on all the different programs or all the different services that we provide, because it's hard to explain to somebody what Community Service Board in Middle Georgia is or means. I usually just say, if you've got a problem or if you know someone with behavioral health challenges, just send them to us. Send them to us. We'll talk to Chad and we'll get started and help guide them for what services that fits them.
And intake is really where it all starts.
Right.
It's how you get set up and what you need. And treatment does vary for each individual. Like you had touched on, treatment can last for years, or treatment can last for a month or 2 months. It's really dependent on what you're looking for, how far you're willing to commit, and if it's working for you.
Right.
So intake is where it starts, and happy to get you started.
Tell me, do I have to have certain insurances?
So when you come in and if you have certain insurances, let's say if you have private insurances like Blue Cross Blue Shield or United Healthcare, we do accept those insurances. However, with those, you have to be scheduled an appointment. We still want you to come on in. We can do your HIPAA and your legal documentation and go ahead and talk to you. But we have to set you an appointment with an LPC, somebody who's licensed and is on what they call the board for those insurances.
Right.
We are what we call state contracted funded.
Right.
So individuals who don't have insurance, don't let that deter you, because we still serve individuals with no insurance. It's based on a sliding scale fee. So come in, and whatever insurance you have, we'll figure it out. We'll work it out.
So insurance, don't let it stress you. Don't let it be something that hinders you from getting the attention you need or the attention a loved one might need. Come on in. Let us help you figure out paperwork. We're
Right.
worried about your need.
Right.
We'll figure out the paperwork.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
And I think that's very important, because not all services work that way.
Right.
But our services, Community Service Board, Middle Georgia, we work that way.
We try our best to accommodate and see people based on their needs, not their insurance.
Right.
But it is still important. But
Right.
but it's more important if you need help to reach out.
So those who are uninsured, underinsured, has amazing insurance, it doesn't matter. Especially if you're in a crisis.
Especially if you're in a crisis.
We've even had Marnie with our child and adolescent services say, if there's a crisis, we want to help you.
Right.
We'll figure out the money part later.
Right,
It
exactly.
is a factor, but it's not the
But
most important thing.
Exactly.
Dublin Ford Lincoln is honored to call many well-respected and wonderful people our friends. Bert Thigpen is one of those friends.
It's just an easy process for me, because they're with you when you buy it, but the main thing, they're with you after you buy it. Then they give you the service after you buy it, and that makes, to me, that's three factors that I really look at, and they've done that ever since I've been here.
Others call you customers, we call you friends. That's Dublin Ford Lincoln.
Hey everyone, it's Renee with CSB for you and me, and I want to make sure that you understand when we talk through all of our episodes, we talk about open access. What is open access and why do we have open access? So Nina is here to help make sure. What does the term open access mean for our CSB?
Well, open access is a treatment model that's actually been popular across the country, but was introduced here in Georgia by the Department of Behavioral Health and Developmental Disabilities to basically make it as easy as possible for people when they're looking for services to be able to come in, get enrolled, same day, same access. What research has found is that the sooner people can get enrolled and involved in treatment, the quicker that their symptoms can subside, and the happier they become. And so open access is basically, we have our clinics, our outpatient clinics, are open. People can walk in and they will be seen. Most of the days are in the morning. Some of our clinics have them every day of the week, Monday through Friday, from 8 o'clock until I believe 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So what happens? The people come in, it's first come, first serve. They get enrolled in our services. They get an explanation of all our services that are available to them, when they could have those services next. Sometimes they can even see a nurse and a doctor that day to have all of those services wrapped around. What's important about community mental health is that when people come in, because of the struggles and the obstacles of getting services, that's why we have open access, is to provide as many services as we can when they come in the door. So at a minimum, when somebody shows at our door and signs up, they're going to be getting a behavioral health assessment. They'll be starting their treatment plan. They'll be referred to services that'll be followed up. They'll be seeing a doctor within 14 business days. And they'll also, if they wish, be referred to either a peer program, a psychosocial rehabilitation program, individual or family counseling, community support services, and anything else that we may.
Case management.
Or anything else that we may have to offer that would fit their needs and the goals that they're coming in for. So that's pretty much why we have open access and where it came from. Because most communities and people in communities, and you could probably answer this question yourself, when you think about a CSB or community mental health, you think about, okay, so what services do they offer? And then how do I get there? How do I get enrolled in these services? And so open access is one of the quickest ways that we can answer those questions for people in our community.
Used to, historically, especially when I started in behavioral health, if you were in a crisis and that's about the time you want services is when something crazy is going on
does
or
happen.
uncontrollable is going on.
Well, that's when services should be available, is
Right.
when people are in crisis.
But historically, we would schedule you an appointment and it could be 2 or 3 weeks out, maybe longer, and we weren't able to address their needs as fast as they were needed. So open access is new for our service area. It has only been implemented within the past year or two on the Ogeechee side. So open access means that you just come on in. And when you do come to open access, you need to bring your insurance card if you have one. If you don't, it's okay. You need to bring a photo ID. So we usually say bring your license, bring a photo ID of some sort. And sometimes you might be connected with the courts, or you might have some extra documentation or paperwork that we might need to make sure we guide you in the right direction of services. So any kind of paperwork that you can bring with you that day. If you're a child or a child needs services, we do need a guardian, right?
Proof of guardianship.
Proof
yes, ma'am.
of guardianship to make sure that we handle all of our paperwork right. But we can get you seen and come up with, I like to say treatment plan, but come up with goals of where you want to be, where your struggles are, how can we address those with you. And then, like she said, then you see a doctor. You leave that day from open access with a doctor's appointment. If there is a crisis, we can try to find a doctor for that moment. So open access is an easy way to get started in services. And open access is the door that you need to use for any of the programs that you've seen on any of our episodes. So if you want to be part of the Lighthouse, you need to come through open access. If you want to be part of the Independence House, you need to come through open access. If you want to be part of our child and adolescents, there's open access for that. Building 4, y'all should remember Building 4. So I just want to make sure our viewers, you at home, understand that don't worry about money. There is some hoops that we have to jump through that, but our purpose of a CSB is for the uninsured or the underinsured. Do you want to help explain that, help our viewers have a little bit more peace of mind when it comes to the financial part of getting started in our program?
Sure, I can do that. I also want to say another good thing about open access is, let's say that you just want to have an assessment, okay, that you just want to find out more about behavioral health. It runs in your family, or you've had some issues of feeling sad lately yourself, or something going on. And if you just want to come and talk to somebody and see if you need further help, open access is a way that you can do that. Let's say the court system or DFACS or another institution has said, hey, in order for you to do this or to comply with probation or do this, we need you to go have an assessment. Well, we provide those assessments as well, and we provide them in open access. So it's not just about people that may want to enroll in services, though those may be possible and needed. But if you just want an assessment, we can be glad to provide that as well. As far as financial responsibility is concerned, when you do come into open access, that will be discussed. But we do take all types of insurance, whether that's private and commercial insurance. We do ask people to call their insurance companies and find out if they have a copay or a co-insurance that will be due when they do present for that service. Now, of course, we'll look it up here, but if you think you may have a copay, be prepared to pay that if you come to one of the clinics. We also accept Medicaid, as well as Peach State, WellCare, Amerigroup, and other insurances. It's just important that you bring in that proof of that. What Renee was referring to as far as underinsured or uninsured. The state of Georgia provides funding for community mental health services for people that do not have insurance. So what that means is when you present for open access, if you can show proof of no income and provide the other necessary information, we will provide services to you with minimal to no charge based upon a sliding scale and based upon your current income. And that is something that, of course, is done in the beginning. What we do as a community service board is we try to remove any kind of obstacle that there may be for you to receive the services that you need. And so as far as financial responsibilities, we do have contracts and things and rules that we need to follow. Yeah. But we also, like we said, Renee said, we are willing to do what we need to do to make sure that you receive the services. And that includes working with financial responsibility.
Did you get all that? It is a lot, but I don't want people to get hung up on money when they need help. Marnie has shared in the past that if there's a crisis, we're going to help you with your crisis, and we'll get all the other stuff taken care of, but we are here to serve the community. So, but there are hoops, there are things that we have to do, there are things that we have to paperwork, finagle through, make sure that we have you as an individual. We are not a cookie cutter program. Make sure that you have your paperwork in place so we can help you as much as we possibly can address the needs that you have. So I hope that helps explain and clarifies some on what open access is. And you'll see on your screen that we have multiple clinics in multiple counties, and these counties have open access at different times. Our main Dublin office is open access 5 days a week, but our Eastman Clinic, our Burke County Clinic, our Screven County Clinic,
And
our Emmanuel County Clinic. Because we are rural, it's different days. Now, if we have a huge demand, we can open up and become 3, 4, 5 days a week. But at this time, for our rural areas, we have specific days. So you see on your screen right now, these are the days that we have open access within all of our clinics. I appreciate you, and thank you for watching and learning more about our open access. Thank you, Nina, for helping me. And I hope you've enjoyed this episode of CSB for you and me.